Welcome to episode 31, the big 3-1. They didn't think we'd make it this far to 31. Welcome to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast. My name is John.
My name is Dante.
We have a ginormous show. Usually we kind of breeze over SmackDown. We're touching everything on SmackDown. We're touching everything on Raw. We got Dynamite at the end. Big week in wrestling. We are coming down to it. We have Forbidden Door coming up. We got Money in the Bank coming up.
We got a lot of stuff
We have a lot coming up. How are we? How are you out there? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. Dante, how are we? What's going on?
Doing good. I'm pretty energized this morning for whatever reason. I kind of woke up early. And
Me too.
Usually I wake up early and I go back to bed for a little bit, whatever. Stayed up, just kind of like was just on my phone, chilling out, ready to come here. I have 2 coffees this morning. I don't know if people can tell. I plan on stone colding these by the end of the episode, just smashing them together. Had a little issue at Dunkin' this morning, which led to me getting 2 coffees. One of them not being mine. So to whoever coffee I took, I apologize. It's not good. It's terrible. 3 sugar, 3 cream.
I'm gonna say, read the order,
brew.
put them on blast.
Yeah. Number 8784. Terrible. Fuck them. It was awful. But I'm
Other than that,
you know,
nothing crazy in the week. Nothing crazy on the weekend.
The week, I honestly didn't really do much.
Yeah,
the only thing I really did, I went to see Kevin James stand up.
I think that's pretty
Friday.
money.
That's like the only thing.
How was it?
All right. Okay.
It's gotta be okay.
So when I bought the ticket, it was at Foxwoods. So they actually have a really nice theater. I don't know if you've been there before.
I haven't been there,
It's really nice. I bought the tickets. They were like relatively cheap. Like before fees and stuff, it was like $60. So like it's not that much to begin with. So
it's more expensive.
I went with my buddy, and we were like all the way in the back. We were like, not like the back row, but we were like towards the back. So I went with my buddy Matt, and he said to me before we go in, he goes, "I feel like we're gonna be like the youngest people there, and like his like jokes are gonna cater to a certain audience and stuff because like
it's gonna be almost like boomerish jokes."
He was like King of Queens, I think, started in 2006, 2007. And then, like, Grown Ups, like, all these movies. Like, he was popular in, like, the 2000s, 2010. Like, he's still, like, known. But, like, that's when, like, he was, like, you know, doing a lot of stuff. In his prime. So, I'm like, dude, like, most of these people that are going to be here, like, people that, like, grew up. Like, I grew up watching King of Queens, but I'm talking about people, like, in their 20s that were watching King of Queens, like, all these movies. So we go, and it was funny. Like, it was good. Like, I didn't know what to expect, because at first I didn't even know he did stand up. I mean, like,
does he do, like, is it dirty? What does he do?
All right, so my friend was spot on. It was very catered to, like, adults and, like, parents. Like, he was making a lot of, like, talking about his kids, like, doing bits about being an adult and stuff like that, which is, like, some of it was really funny, but some of it was just unrelatable. Like, I can't relate to my kid buying a VR headset and him, like, bitching out at him.
What the heck
is
this?
Lot, but, like, let me tell you something. It was sold out. Like, it was packed. And he was, like, the jokes he was saying, people were dying laughing. Like, there was a handful of people that, like, even when he wasn't saying anything, you could just hear them laughing.
Like, still reeling from the last
props to him.
Hands.
No, props to him. He has his target audience. He knows how to, like, have them in the palm of his hands. And, like, it was really funny. He had some bits that, like, I did think was funny, but there were definitely some parts where I was just like, oh yeah.
Would you recommend to the audience to go see Kevin James live if he comes to a city near you?
So, like, unless you're a Kevin James fan, probably not. Basically how Kevin said this to me, what it comes down to is I paid money to see Kevin James,
right?
Not necessarily
not
for
to
his
go
stand-up.
To a comedy show.
Exactly. I was there to see Kevin James, who I've loved for like 15, 20 years of my life. So with that being said, I had a good time because it was at the casino and like me and my friend went afterwards, whatever. So we made a good night out of it. But it was fine. I didn't have high expectations, so I'm not like upset by it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Drove 4 hours for that. No, how long is it? No, hour and a half.
Because I went home for anyway. I was home. So it was only like a 45-minute drive. It wasn't terrible, but it was a good time. That was the highlight of my week. And then after that, I didn't.
You were tuckered out from that, so you needed to.
Kevin James, where's your?
Yeah, you needed to. I'm done for the weekend.
He really does. So. Yeah, that
awesome.
was it. How about you? How was your week?
Maybe not as eventful. Actually, I did a lot. Hit the flea. Found some more wrestling
yes, you
tees.
Did. You got a wrestling tee, didn't you?
I did get one. I didn't get like one of the cool ones because like all the ones I take pictures of. The reason I take a picture of them is I can't afford them because they're all like the ones they're all hanging up. You know, like oh that's over $100.
Yeah.
Like that like old like vintage like original Stone Cold one. That's a $150 t-shirt.
Definitely.
Which I respect, but can't afford it. But my friend was vending at the flea market, and he was talking to me. He was like, hey, like we're over here. Shout out Ryan. We don't have any wrestling tees though. And I was like, oh man, but that's cool. And I was flipping through, and I saw the Stone Cold one. I got. It's not like it's.
I think it's newer.
It's very new. It's from anywhere from like a couple WrestleManias ago to even like last WrestleMania when he was like kind of
building up,
kind of back.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it was when they're like on the road, like every single city you'd have whatever city they're in, 316.
Like Boston 316.
Yeah,
or Las Vegas.
kind of like how like Brock Lesnar did the Suplex City specific ones.
Yeah.
So it says Nashville 316 on the back. Has like the
I
six
love
skull.
Nashville. So.
Cropped the fuck out of it.
Did you?
Cropped because it's like the style of t-shirt. It's like the kind of like tight, stretchy, t-shirt. Cropped it, cut off the sleeves. We're looking slutty.
Sleeveless crop
We are
top?
looking slutty in the Stone Cold tee.
Wow, that's quite a look.
Did that. Hit the Pride Festival on whatever it was last Saturday.
Yep.
That was a ball. Got rained on.
Yeah.
Fucking torrential downpour.
Yeah.
But other than that, fun weekend.
Hell yeah.
The festival was fun. The flea market was fun. Everything was fun. It was a pretty good weekend.
And here we are.
And now we're here to talk about wrestling. brother.
Well, let's do it.
Before we get started, if you want to listen to the audio-only version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that, can you please leave a rating, 5 stars, nice little review. It helps out the pod so much. And if you're here on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, you're probably already subscribed, but please subscribe. We're going to start plugging that in videos because we never do.
Never do.
Let's start. Like I said, we usually skip over SmackDown, kind of hit the highlights, but everything on SmackDown was kind of a highlight or worth mentioning. We're going to start from the top. I'm going to take a sip of some LD. LD, if you're watching.
LD, shout out LD. Water from the mountains.
Who will Jey Uso align with? The show starts out. Paul Heyman, sweet talking Jey. He's saying Roman wants to, which the phrase he was using. Roman, and it's Roman wants to groom you.
Yeah.
You're going to be groomed.
You understand what he's saying, but you couldn't take it out.
Okay, I was like, all right, I don't know. Just a funny verbiage. Grooming to be the next tribal chief. Jimmy is jealous. Blah, blah, blah. Paul Heyman says, because of Jimmy, there is no more tag team in the WWE known as the Usos. The Usos are dead. The Usos are done. We didn't get an answer, but Paul Heyman says here, as a token of whatever, I got you a United States Championship match against Theory later in the night. Jey Uso accepts, and then this is a quote from I think later in the night, but it all ties in.
Backstage segment.
Jey says, "I don't know why you're so happy." To Paul Heyman, he says, "I don't know why you're so happy because if I'm in the bloodline, you're out of the bloodline."
Bars.
A lot building up to the main event. What answer are we gonna get from Jey? I mean, I kind of just want to hit that beat because I feel like we're gonna when the main event comes, we'll kind of talk about it more. So what's funny, I mean, we already know what happened, so it's kind of weird to be like, what is going to happen at the end of the night? Yeah. So all that is setting up to the end of the night. We'll get back to that. But let's talk about Money in the Bank here. Santos Escobar defeats Mustafa Ali to qualify for Money in the Bank. How are we feeling?
I think I honestly would have been fine with either of them winning.
Same,
because
for
Mustafa
sure.
Ali is kind of building some momentum. But I know Mustafa's down in NXT right now doing some stuff as well. So that kind of made me think if he's down there, probably, is going to get more stuff down there than being, in a Money in the Bank match. But Santos Escobar, happy with him being in it because he represents the LWO. I think, you want to legitimize that group. Obviously, Rey Mysterio is the figurehead. He's the star, the Hall of Famer. You have to build up everyone around him. Zelina Vega's gotten some title matches, so, you're building up her credibility. Escobar is the next guy. You need to, build him up as a credible, contender. Obviously, Money in the Bank for a world championship. I would like to see hopefully this kind of starts like Escobar push in a way, like for mid-card titles, even like a United States Championship, because he's super talented. Like,
he's sick.
I don't know how familiar you are with his work in NXT and stuff.
No, I just know him from the main roster.
He was incredible. Like, just so good.
Was he a singles?
Yes.
Guy?
He had his group and stuff. Like the same type of group. Zelina, it wasn't Zelina. It was her name was Elektra Lopez.
Oh, okay.
I think someone else. But I think he unified. I think he unified both cruiserweight championships. He did something. He unified some belts. I forget what it was exactly.
The NXT and the UK
maybe it was
cruiserweights.
Maybe it was the cruiserweight in the North American champion. I'm not. He did something.
Yeah,
he did something monumental in NXT. But he has like the talent. He can be a single star, whatever. So I hope they just continue to push him, and this leads to something good for him.
Yeah, my sentiment kind of reflects that. Kind of would have thought Ali would again, like, he does have some. If he wasn't in NXT, I feel like he would have gotten the win coming off of, like, especially if you're coming off that Gunther match, like. I don't know. It, like you said, it could have gone 50-50, but they're both going to bring, I feel like, a similar style to the table anyway, like a high flyer type thing. But we'll get back to Money in the Bank. At the end of all this, I have the full. So I think there's still one more woman to be announced for it.
Maybe. I think they're only doing 6 for the men's this year. They usually do between like 6 and like 8 or 9. I mean, I'm fine with what they have.
Unless they have time to add someone, but as of now, it seems locked in.
Yeah, the only thing I could see happening is if they add like Bronson Reed in, because he's still kind of going after. He's been feuding with Ricochet and Shinsuke, so maybe he finds a way and make it 7. But other than that, I think it's pretty locked in as well.
Backstage, Sami's talking to Jey, basically just same old, but he says, don't do what's in your ear, do what's in your heart, and he's kind of trying to tell him the truth about what's happening with Paul and blah blah blah.
I love how he was like talking about how the Bloodline days was some of the best days of his life. And he was just like with the handshakes, trying to like breaking you every week. Then Jey starts like laughing a little bit, and he's like, just like that.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that interaction.
Him and Sami and Kevin have been like. You could argue maybe their tag team run. It's not some monumental tag team championship run right now by any means. Could it get there? Sure. But their like character work is so good right now. Kevin doing his like hot temper thing. Sami kind of being like the straight man, but also like still getting Jey to crack. And I love the work they're doing.
Kevin's like paranoid, like all the stuff going on. Sami's just like, it's all right. Like trying to keep his head on straight.
We'll move on to kind of a weird segment. The debuting NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Did I say it right? Isla Dawn?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Isla Dawn are interrupted by Ronda and Shayna. Basically, they do classic where, you stink, blah, blah, blah. There's only room in this town for one of us or whatever. But Ronda and Shayna lay down a challenge to unify the tag team titles, the NXT tag team titles, and the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. I don't know again, I don't know. I don't follow NXT too well. I don't know how prominent they keep them in NXT. It just seems like a weird move to unify.
They
don't seem related.
They're not, which I understand. I don't know if this is meant to like just get rid of the NXT women's belt. Like
that's what it seems like to me.
Why wouldn't you just have that tag team just like you get drafted, you have to let go of the belt or something like that, keep them in NXT, because now NXT doesn't have women's tag team belts.
Exactly.
And like NXT arguably, it might not even be an argument to be completely honest with you, they have the best women's division in wrestling. Like I am telling you, dude, like they have so much talent in their women's division. They have more than enough people to have a tag team division.
Right.
Their most successful divisions in NXT are the women's tag team and just the women's in general. So I feel like they need tag team titles because you have too many people down there, and I say down there as an NXT, that like you need championships for these women to compete for and stuff, not just one singular NXT Women's Championship. Also, Ronda in this situation, Ronda and Shayna, like they're gonna win, but they shouldn't because Fire and Dawn are they're so good.
Well, that's how I felt about like Chance and Carter last week.
But like,
you know,
but what baffles me is they're already the champs, so it's like you have them bring it up. It's I guess a big deal. They bring the NXT Women's belts, and then they're gonna lose them. But they're debuting, that you're supposed to build them up. Like what they're supposed to be like one of the like legitimate like tag teams in the women's tag team division. A lot of these groups are put together. These two have been together, you know, from NXT, whatever.
They're not gonna win, but they need to win.
No, that's
they're
what
not
I'm
gonna
saying.
Win,
and it's annoying because Ronda and Shayna are gonna win because they just won the tag team belts. They definitely want to keep them on them to legitimize the belts, I guess. But I think it's the wrong booking decision.
Yeah. And I don't think they buried Carter and Chance last week. Like it was an amazing match. I think if anything it put over Carter and Chance, but Carter and Chance still lost. That was their debut. Now they're going to do the same with Dawn and Fire when they debut. So now you just have these two NXT women's tag team call-ups who were drafted.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they were just like, you know, called up, whatever debut.
Right.
They were like
they were
both
drafted on TV.
Right. So I don't understand it. It would be nice if Dawn and I keep thinking I'm saying that wrong. Dawn and Fire get the win. Yeah. I don't know. It will probably happen at Money in the Bank. I'd imagine. I don't think it's official, but I don't know. It's something. It's whatever.
As long as NXT gets those belts back somehow,
I really don't think so.
I don't, but I just don't understand why they wouldn't. That's the only. I'm just confused. They spent a lot of time building up that division, those belts. Though the NXT Women's Tag Team belts are more valuable and carry more weight than the main roster tag team championship. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you taking that away from that brand? I don't know. I was very confused with a lot of things, and we're gonna get into one of them in a second with the belt. So like it's confusing in the moment, but they somehow go back and fix it in a way. So hopefully they'll do that, but I don't fucking know.
I saw a tweet. It was like one of those reports. I don't know. It probably doesn't hold any weight, but it was like, backstage so-and-so, Shawn Michaels said that they want to start leaning NXT into like its own brand. Yeah. And it's like, well, they fucking had that. They had that. And then they just did it, you know? So it's like, I don't know if that's... Judging by this, it doesn't seem like that's the direction they're going by. Because you think, I don't know.
I don't know. Apparently, they're trying to mix in a lot of like... So like NXT Championship matches, they're trying to showcase them on like pay-per-views, like SummerSlam.
I mean, yeah,
you might see the NXT Championship getting that would make Women's Championship. The main belts,
it would make sense if how NXT is positioned where it is now, being like a developmental thing, then absolutely. I think the title matches should be on the main roster.
But if they're supposed to be their own brand,
exactly.
Their own brand.
Go back to your like takeover. I mean, they still do takeover, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're supposed to separate it if it's supposed to be its own brand.
But also, like you said, we got Mustafa down there, Baron Corbin down there, which we'll talk about, and then Braun Breaker's facing Seth on NXT. But
I mean, they already and Carmelo was on SmackDown. So they already kind of do these appearances, and like they're kind of mixing the brands together, I guess. But I don't know.
Bailey defeats the HBIC to qualify for Money in the Bank. Nothing crazy about this. It was more so Bailey got the win. Obvious Bailey was gonna go in. It's more of like, my one note is here. Every time I see the Good Brothers on TV, I'm reminded they're employed by the WWE.
Dude.
Every time I see them, like,
it's so
oh, they're here.
It's disappointing because like in every promotion that they're in, they're like super successful. Like when they were in Impact, they were the tag team champs. AEW, they were like prominent.
I think New Japan, New Japan with Bullet Club.
Then they come to WWE and they're just like nothing.
I think it's just, this isn't me commenting. Again, this is more me making a comment, which is kind of a gray line. I guess I have to make the distinction of they're boring. They're boring.
They are.
They're boring.
Carl Anderson is a creative character. You can say Luke Gallows is the same one.
And again, that's not me commenting on they're boring, especially when they were in Impact, whatever. I'm talking about this is how WWE is presenting these guys.
Every other promotion I'm interested in.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I like the idea of the OC because I like...
I'm not a fan because WWE hasn't made me a fan.
I like these like factions, like 3 people. I know Mia Yim is in it, but I'm thinking of just like AJ, Luke, and Carl. Because I like the main guy tag team. I like the idea of that. Like Imperium, Gunther, and you have the tag team.
For a while, it was like their Bullet Club, kind of,
exactly.
you know?
But when you don't like showcase them prominently or you don't do anything. Like when AJ was hurt, they weren't on TV at all. And actually in their clauses, in their contracts, they have a clause that says if like they're not going to be on the show, they don't have to be there.
It's a pretty sweet clause. It's a pretty sweet
like
clause.
The last 5 months, they've just been chilling and getting paid at home.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. So until WWE gives me a reason to care, I agree with you. Like it's just you see them and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. They're just like supporting. They're just AJ's bag carriers. Yeah, henchmen.
And then Karrion Kross attacked A-Down. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, they're starting that.
Asuka. They revealed, presented, however you will.
Now get this correct. Now
I know. Asuka's new WWE Women's Championship. And as I will skip ahead a little bit, as I was promptly corrected and yelled at on Twitter for which I think is an understandable confusion. This is now going to be, it's no more SmackDown Raw. This is going to be the WWE Women's Championship. And the one we'll talk about later with Rhea is the WWE Women's World Championship.
Yeah, very different. But, so, all right,
fucking
so let's start.
It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. I'll say it. Everyone correcting me, being like, it's not that hard. No, it's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. One's the WWE Women's Champion, one's the WWE World Women's Champion. It's just like, it's not even a different word. It's a few different letters that's different. And then you're like, oh, obviously it's a different title. Obviously it's a different thing. Oh, no, it's actually totally different. Fucking, okay, sick.
They do look different, at least.
They do.
there is.
Well, they don't look that different from 2 other titles that look exactly the fucking same.
So, all right. Okay. So let's start with the look of it.
They reveal the title.
Yes.
Do the whole hoopla.
It looks a lot better than Roman's. I think it's because of the white strap.
Yes, I still hate it. It looks better than Roman's for sure.
So I'm not saying it's the best belt they've ever made, but I think the white strap really does make a belt look better.
Yeah. I just think the yellow mustard. I mean, I'm beating a dead horse. At this point,
I still agree with that. It's the coloring of it is still very questionable, and it's still very like just unoriginal. Obviously, just like making it the smaller.
Why do they
version.
have to do that?
It's so
like
Asuka
they never did that.
The difference is like it's the same belt but smaller and white strap. You know what I mean? And it was like the same with the like WWE and the SmackDown Raw Women's
But you look back in the day, and sorry, the sun just came out and I got nervous. It's already hot in this room. Back in the day, obviously, you had. Big Gold looked a lot different than the spinner belt. And the women's championship, you had the women's championship, like the Trish Stratus, like cool looking one. Mm-hmm. Even if and I'm not giving the Divas title any credit, but at least it was different looking than the other titles.
It was original, but it sucked.
Right. It's like why I really, really don't understand why we can't have why do they have to look I don't know. Why do they have to look the same?
No.
Why is the white strap the women's one, the black strap's the men's one, because you had the Intercontinental Championship with the white strap.
The white strap isn't just like for women's wrestlers.
No.
Like men have had it in the past. Yeah, I don't know. That's my one thing. It's lazy. It's not creative. I don't understand the point in it. Like, you want to make every belt look like to represent the company. You want the belts to look the same. Like, I don't know. I feel like,
and I'm not even one of these people that are complaining like it's just a big WWE logo. Like,
it's not even that. It's the color.
That's what I'm saying. Because like obviously, like if you look at any other title, it's the company's logo. Obviously, they're gonna have it big. Is it a little too big? That's understandable. But I'm not even sitting here saying like it's just a big WWE logo. Blah blah blah. It's just dumb looking.
No,
like the jewels on it.
Even like the W with the jewels in the W. I don't like it.
It's tough. Yeah,
it's better. Again, it's better than Roman's, but it's
somehow somehow better than Roman's.
But it's not good. Yeah, it's just lazy, and it's unfortunate. It really is.
Roman's is so bad. I just pulled up a picture of it in comparison.
I can't wait for him to show up on SmackDown tomorrow with that on his shoulder.
God damn it.
It's so gross.
Charlotte Flair returns and challenges.
Yes! Yes! About time Charlotte's back. Oh my God, the women's division needed her. We need to put the belt right back on her because that's where it belongs. She deserves this opportunity. She's done nothing but work hard to get to where she is right now. And I hope she becomes a 25-time women's champion by the end of her career.
If she beats Asuka,
I'll be pissed.
I'm gonna give up on the whole what is this SmackDown women's division.
Asuka, I don't know how many times Asuka has won a world championship prior to this one, but each one has been memorable. I know that for damn sure. Each title reign. I want her to have a good title reign. Like, she's been on the main roster for over 5 years, and each time she's had a title reign, it isn't memorable. I think the most memorable thing about her being a champion is getting the belt from Becky when she won Money in the Bank. Becky announced she was pregnant. She didn't even win it. She was just handed the belt, which is whatever. I'm not complaining about that, but I'm saying that's like, when I think about Asuka as world champion, that's like the one thing I think of. I don't think about title defenses. I don't think about, year-long title reigns. I don't think about anything like that. And it's unfortunate because she was so dominant in NXT. And then she comes up to the main roster, gets her winning streak ended by Charlotte, which was a stupid decision.
Right. That's kind of what I was.
That was just from day one. That was
they've already done this before, where Asuka has this hot run. Like, she just got the title, everyone's behind her, and they've already done this once with, like you just said, ending the streak and taking that title, like just cutting all this. And I think was there an instance where was that the only instance that Charlotte beat her? Did Charlotte take the title
that's
off
happened
her?
before.
That's why. Okay, so either way. This happens a lot with Asuka and Charlotte, where Asuka gets this big victory, or she's on that hot run, and Charlotte just comes in, just
yeah.
You know,
and even at WrestleMania, Asuka was on a hot run, and Bianca beat her, and that obviously Asuka came back around, won the belt, but like even that halted her momentum for a little bit. It's the same old thing with Charlotte. I've said this before. I respect her. I think she's one of the best.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the best athletes in the women's division and just WWE in general. It's just how WWE presents her, and just like she comes back and immediately she's thrown into a title match in 2 weeks.
There was even 1 week. There was even a line there that was like, Adam Pearce or someone commented like, oh, like there's a line, you gotta get in line, and then Charlotte goes, line, I invented the line.
And like, okay, title match.
Yeah, you're right. No, good point.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're the GM.
To paint a little bit more of a picture for SmackDown the story, prior to this, Adam Pearce did promise Bianca a rematch, and then Bianca was like, okay, word.
So I think that's gonna lead to a triple threat.
They gotta do a triple threat. Like that. I would love that.
I also think we're kind of getting the beginning stages of a Bianca heel turn.
That's what it's looking like.
I'd be cool with it. I know she's a great babyface. People love her. But I bet she could be a kick-ass heel.
Especially if you have Asuka. Like, Asuka's technically, I think on paper, technically a heel.
But I think she kind of is both.
I wouldn't even argue both. I think on paper it's a heel, but it's one of those situations where she's just like, the fans are so behind her where she's just babyface. Babyface that does heel things.
I feel like heel and face, like, the lines are so blurred compared to how it was years ago. Like, you can be a bad guy and fans will cheer you, and you can be a good guy and fans can boo you. It's hard
to tell how Charlotte's presented right now too.
I think that's a good example of 50-50.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna cheer her. Because again, great athlete, the legacy, the Flair family, whatever, and then people see it as she's just getting shoved down our throats. So I think it's pretty 50-50.
I hope we'll move on, but I hope Asuka needs to win this. She needs to win this. She needs to go over Charlotte. I don't know.
Just got the new belt too. Let her be the first one to kind of have a good run with it before losing it. Also on SmackDown, you're gonna have a loser on SmackDown.
Oh, it's not like Money in the Bank on SmackDown?
Week from tomorrow. They announced it for a week from tomorrow.
Oh.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they did, yeah.
Because I would imagine they would do something
I
Money in
can
the Bank.
see, you're right, I can see, they have this match, something fishy happens. Maybe Bianca gets involved, and then they do the triple threat at Money in the Bank.
Either way,
I can't find anything, but I'm pretty sure they announced that.
We can kind of brush over this next one. Butch defeats Baron Corbin to qualify for Money in the Bank with a helpful distraction of NXT champion Carmelo Hayes ringside. I don't have much to say about this. Like I said, we're going to kind of talk more Money in the Bank stuff later, but Butch is in. We got Butch.
Butch is in.
Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes are feuding.
Yeah, that's an
Sick.
NXT thing going
Awesome.
on. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Actually,
You found it?
2 weeks from tomorrow. So they announced it in 3 weeks last week.
Holy
I don't know
shit.
if it's
when the
show.
fuck is Money in the Bank?
I think it's if it's 2 weeks, it's the day before Money in the Bank.
Oh, what? So yeah,
That makes me nervous that they're gonna pull something off.
Something's gonna happen.
Who did Butch fight?
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that Triple H needs to change Butch back to Pete Dunne.
For sure, yeah.
I'm happy with this. I was...
Me too.
So kind of the same thing with Mustafa Ali. I'm like, Baron Corbin, I could see him winning because he's in NXT. They're kind of like giving him that push. But then I'm like, oh, he could lose because he is in NXT. So like, why is he kind of in two big storylines in a way?
Also, if he was in, he just always just makes a heel to be in a match too.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah. I think during the match, Carmelo was there, so there was like a distraction, whatever. So it wasn't like he lost cleanly. Happy Butch won. And we'll talk about the match in general soon, I'm sure. But like, love how the way the Money in the Bank match is shaping up. All non-world, never won a world championship, none of them. I think it's a great match, great opportunity for these guys. But
I had almost a heartbreaking moment when you said that, because I was like, no, Shin, and I was like, no, Shin,
Shin,
tough.
Yeah, never won a world championship. But Baron Corbin is. I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about NXT, but he won a #1 contenders match this past Tuesday to be for the NXT championship. So that's what he has going on now.
Why?
I think they're
Corbin?
I think they're just trying to like when a superstar goes to NXT, like goes back down to NXT, I think it's just kind of like to cleanse away like bad booking over the last like stretch, because Baron Corbin has just been.
I'll tell you this: I do not want to see Baron Corbin wrestle for the NXT championship.
He definitely isn't going to win. I mean, the thing is, Baron Corbin's like a good wrestler. I think for what he is, like he's a big man, he's talented.
He's
like
fine.
When he had the lone wolf gimmick, he was great, and then they started turning him into. I think they call it Constable Corbin, when he was like the GM, King Corbin. He's had a lot of shitty gimmicks over the past few years, and I think this is just kind of like getting him back to his old NXT days when he was the lone wolf, and then when this is done, bring him back. He's a little bit more like, fresh, more refreshened up, whatever. But I'm happy Pete Dunne won, or Butch, excuse me.
Iyo Sky defeats Shotzi to qualify for Money in the Bank with the help of Bayley. Now Bayley's got herself and Iyo damage control, 2/3 of damage control. Dakota's injured. In Money in the Bank, a lot of tension between Bayley and Iyo. We're looking like something's got. What I'm hoping for. Granted, both these women are and can be and have been fantastic single stars. Bayley, obviously, veteran at this point. Iyo, I'm clamoring for an Iyo run. I'm hoping this is, we see the tension, break up, ideally like a blow-off match between the two. It's going to be interesting to see if all that happens, who comes out more skyrocketed. Does Bayley come out of that feud to jump up to the title, or what I would prefer, Iyo Sky comes out of that feud, goes to the moon?
Yeah,
but that's why it could be either one.
I don't think Bayley needs it. She definitely doesn't need it. I think what I see happening is like Bayley's about to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and Iyo Sky like stops her, and then she ends up winning, and then they
or the other way around,
which whatever happens, I feel like it's going to lead to a feud between them. I think Dakota Kai being out, I think you were going to see a breakup between Damage Control happen anyways. I think Dakota being out kind of like speeds that up a little bit.
Dakota's going to come back and be like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?
Yeah, I definitely think that whatever happens in Money in the Bank, those two are going to go at it during the match, and it's going to lead to a blow-off match. I would like if even like, I guess it doesn't matter whoever wins it, but like if Iyo Sky wins the briefcase, I can see them doing like this big feud over the briefcase. So it's like Bayley's like, I should be the Money in the Bank.
You should give that to me.
SummerSlam,
we're a team.
Or Bayley like gets it and he was like, I deserve that, and then she takes it from Bayley. They can do something like that maybe. Who else is in the women's ladder match right now?
Let me scroll down. I'll tell you. Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Iyo, Zoe Stark, and I believe one more TBD.
I'll be honest with you, like know.
I'm riding for Iyo.
I don't like Becky. I don't think should win. She doesn't need it.
Yeah, no.
I don't mind Zelina winning it, but I feel like you can do so much more with Iyo. Maybe Zoe Stark. I mean,
Zoe would be a good one too.
I think that would be more shocking. I think it's too early. I think she
agree.
needs a little, maybe like next year's Money in the Bank. I can see her doing. I definitely think she needs maybe a little bit more time. I think Iyo Sky. I think
It's gotta
that's the
be Iyo,
choice.
man. It's
I
gotta
think
be
that's
Iyo.
the pick right there.
Trying to double check to see.
No,
I think that's what it is now.
yeah. So you have 3. You have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
How
there
many-
definitely is gonna be a.
You have 3 SmackDown, 2 Raw. So
Wow.
you need one more Raw superstar.
Yeah, probably. I guess they'll do something. I don't know if anything's announced. They'll probably do something on Monday.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Very interesting. But yeah, it's looking like it's gonna be Iyo or Bailey. I would love it to be Iyo.
Oh my
I would
God.
love it.
Where am I? I lost my spot. Holy shit! Main event. We've
event.
never talked about SmackDown this much.
Yeah, 36
Wow.
minutes in.
Austin Theory defeats Jey Uso. Let me give you the rundown of things, and we'll talk about it. The ref gets knocked out as Jey goes for the pin. The ref could have counted to 1,000,000. Pretty Deadly comes out, ambushes Jey. Jimmy comes in and clears house. Solo runs in to take out Jimmy and goes for the spike, but Jey stops him. And what is just the most dramatic, just like the, dives and grabs the arm. Love that. They get out of the hole, whatever. Jimmy goes for a super kick on Solo. Solo ducks out of the way. Jimmy connects with Jey. At the end of all this, Jimmy is trying to console Jey. I didn't mean it, blah, blah, blah. Jey isn't having it. Pushes off Jimmy. Walks down the ramp. Goes by Paul and Solo. Also seems done with them. And Jey just kind of walks up the ramp.
Yep.
So, I don't know. There's a lot happening. We got the classic, oops, I hit you. I didn't mean to hit you.
Yeah. I think Roman's gonna be on SmackDown tomorrow.
I believe so. So
whatever happens, it's gonna some sort of announcement or whatever is gonna happen tomorrow on SmackDown. I keep
true?
looking
No.
for things and I can't find
Yeah,
them.
Twitter's search has been
I'm
off,
getting
huh?
stuff from 6 days ago. I don't care about that. I think he's supposed to be on SmackDown tomorrow, but it's getting juicy. I
Yeah.
still think we're gonna get like Usos versus Roman Solo at Money in the Bank, but I could also definitely still see like Roman versus Jimmy or something for the belt.
Yeah,
I don't know.
there's really a lot they could
And
do.
now you have the whole thing of him saying to Paul, like, if I'm in the bloodline, you're not, type of thing.
Right, that's the
now
first
you're-
time.
Now you're having Roman make the decision. Are you going to keep Paul Heyman or are you going to keep your cousin, type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
And how the last 3 years have been, I can imagine Roman is going to pick Paul.
I don't know. I don't love my only. This is just a critique to have a critique, I guess. But I don't love. I don't know. We see it so much, and I guess there's only so much you can do of like the. I didn't mean. I hit you by accident.
Yeah.
I didn't mean. I get it. It's more so. It's less of for the moment and more so just to drive the story. I don't know. I don't know. I'm curious what's going to happen at Money in the Bank. I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it. And more so, I'm just like I just
See
want to
what's
see the
next.
next thing and just
Yeah.
like. I think this was a big stepping stone. Now we're seeing this is the first real riff, like caused by the two of them, of Jimmy and Jey.
Right,
And then
yeah.
Paul bringing up no more Usos, which I think that's going to lead to like a no more Usos. Yeah, there is Usos, and we're stronger together.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's
Yeah.
a lot to. Honestly, I wish I had more to say about it, but more so, I'm just like This is where it's tough to talk about a cliffhanger
You're right.
when you're just waiting
Yeah.
for the next thing.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
It's like there's not much to talk about because what we're going to talk about is what happens next.
Right.
So
Let's go to Raw. Rhea Ripley immediately ripping off the Band-Aid. They're just I kind of tweeted this and start off a show. They just
Did it. There was no build-up or
so
nothing?
much less build up. They didn't really even announce it beforehand. They were just like, and new title, here you go. Like they're just like, it was the fourth one they unveiled. Rhea Ripley is presented with the new Women's World Championship, different than the WWE Championship. I'm curious what your take is. My take is this is the best looking belt in the company.
think so.
I think it's the best. I think it kicks Seth's ass. Though I think let me pull a picture for you. I think, and granted, we were just talking about the white strap. I don't think a white strap necessarily just makes any belt better. Like I do like the black straps. However, I think with this design, I think they made it a little bigger too. I think they made Seth's a little bigger too than when they first unveiled it. The logo seems changed a little bit. I don't know. The white strap
pull
just
up the
seems
picture. Maybe I have
way
to see
more
it again. Well, I'll tell you what. You
complimentary.
said like it's the best belt in the company. I had to think about it for a second. None of the belts in the company are that great. So
well, it's not a hard bar to.
Yeah, it's not really hard to be considered.
It's a good looking belt.
No, it is a good looking
belt.
No, it really is a good looking belt. The white strap does something for me. It really does. I'm a huge fan of it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think the two best looking belts are the men in the women's world championship. 1,000%. And whichever one's better, I think is. Yeah.
Slight edge to the women's for me.
Yeah.
Slight edge to the women's.
I think it really matters. It depends on which strap you just like more, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. So I guess so Asuka's belt still carries the lineage of the Raw Women's Championship, and Rhea still carries the lineage of the SmackDown Women's Championship. So like if you go on the website and you see like SmackDown Women's Champion, like it'll like be like Rhea Ripley continued, like she's still not that she still is, but like it's the same.
Yeah, I guess that helps. I mean, they took away the SmackDown Raw titles
just like
or names.
That stuff confuses me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so now you're creating new belts, and it's like, okay, so Rhea Ripley's held the Raw, SmackDown, and the World Championship, but it's like, then you start like talking about history, like the first woman to hold all three belts, but it's like, well, 10 years ago, this belt wasn't around. So you know.
That's why, like, because I was, thinking of like, quizzes and how questions are, you know what I mean? Does that now add a lineage to each of them, or it continues it? Because Rhea's no longer the SmackDown champion. So did she just get a title, a tally marked on, or is she, you know what I mean? It's confusing.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
that's a great
all
question.
this is very confusing.
That's a great question.
But WWE likes to play around with it. I mean, Asuka's a 16-time world champion, but you know what I mean? Ric Flair is a how many time champion? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, solid. Nothing much else to say about this.
Dom comes out, running out.
Dom, and then Dom said, we haven't really talked about this. Dominik Mysterio and Cody Rhodes are, what is this? What is this?
I think it's something to get.
And now
Cody
they're fighting that Money in the Bank. We have Cody Rhodes. Imagine 12 years ago saying, hey, one of the marquee maybe not marquee, but one of the matches at Money in the Bank in 2023 is going to be a returning Cody Rhodes with a broken arm versus Dominik Mysterio.
I love it.
And Dominik Mysterio is the heel.
So obviously this is just to get to SummerSlam. Brock, Seth, Brock, Cody. I definitely. So I can see like Brock interfering and Cody loses to Dom.
That'd be crazy.
That'd
be crazy. I didn't think about that
because like that loss, I don't think would necessarily hurt Cody because if it like funny business involved, whatever. But like, could you imagine the heat Dom would get by beat? He could just say it till the end of time.
Yeah,
he already Cody and stuff like.
He already gets monumental heat, which I think is amazing. I am a Dom fan. I think he's doing great work.
I think that would be so good.
But that would you're right. It would do
so good.
One, it would add a lot to Cody's story. It would add a lot of tension between him and Brock.
Roman bringing that
at the
up
same time
when they're feuding again. Yeah. You lost to Rey Mysterio's son. Like, could you imagine? That's ammunition that they could do a lot. They can do a lot with this tiny little thing they got going on.
I don't know if they're. That's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna. It could just be a Cody clean victory too. Like,
Definitely could be. But just because Brock is still around, like they're gonna have a third match. Like that's what makes me think that this is gonna happen. But
yeah, I don't know. It's definitely
It's definitely weird. Definitely weird.
My note for it was Cody Rhodes challenged Dom Mysterio to a match that Money in the Bank. Hard times. Hard times.
It's not about losses. It's about who you have to face.
Cody Rhodes defeats The Miz. Decent match. Standard TV match. Not quite to The Miz's level of last week, but The Miz is having matches. The Miz is on TV.
He's having matches. I think The Miz needs to go away for a little bit.
Honestly, yeah.
I think he just needs to go away for a few months.
If he goes away for a few months and then returns,
reset.
and you get it because then you can have a return. Like we haven't seen The Miz or whatever.
I just
and
think
now he's Don't send him to NXT.
No. Just let him just go film a reality show or something.
Genuinely.
Because he's just losing matches at this point. It's like he's always going to be credible because he's been around for so long. He's a 2-time Grand Slam. I get all that, but it's like,
and he's showing off in these matches. There's definitely
he's great.
There's definitely a bit of this is me reading into it for the sake of reading into it, but there's definitely a bit of oh shit, I got a show that I can still fucking go.
Right.
And I still have like when I want to go, I can go.
And it's not like I'm saying he needs to go away for a little bit because he's not good. Like, I do think he's very good. It's
I know
just,
what you're saying.
It's just he's on a bad run right now.
Yeah.
And I think, you take a few months off, people kind of like forget a little bit about the last few months. You come back, you start winning some matches, and boom, you're right back on the horse. So that's what I think should happen. But at least he's getting TV time, I guess.
Becky Lynch qualifies Money in the Bank defeating Chelsea Green. We kind of already talked about we're going to talk about Money in the Bank more, but also Damian Priest defeats Matt Riddle to qualify for Money in the Bank. Solid match. These two can go. Obviously, we get the me and Damian Priest joke. There's tension rising between Finn and Damian.
yeah.
There's a lot of tension rising. There was a backstage segment, which I think happened later on. Finn was like, well, if you win the Money in the Bank, would you cash in on me? Damian's like, how could you even ask me that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cracks. Again, I've been saying it for a while. I hope if there's cracks in the Judgment Day, because I like Rhea and Dom in the Judgment Day, and then Damian's like the third man who's just the muscle and whatever. I never thought Finn needed Judgment Day, so I think this is a great opportunity for Finn. You'll have cracks. You have Finn versus Damian. Hopefully Finn wins, leaves Judgment Day. He can still be a heel, doesn't matter. Leaves Judgment Day. And then either Judgment Day gets a new member, which they're looking like JD. Yep. But I think they need someone a little more.
They had
power.
a backstage segment this past week of Finn and JD, so they're teasing it a little bit.
And then, even if JD takes over for Finn,
I can see either the Judgment Day turns on Finn or the Judgment Day turns on Damian, with a new member being involved. So I can see JD.
I could see either way, yeah.
Like, we got a new member, JD.
I think I just want Finn out. I think that's my whole thing.
I can definitely see this whole thing where it's like kind of like with Edge. Where it's like we're introducing this new member, but it's like adding this new member, we're kicking out someone, and then it's the surprise of who they're kicking out.
And again, let me tell you, I'll sing this to the mountains. I want Rhea to be the leader.
Yeah,
Rhea has to be technically Finn. I guess on paper Finn is now, but Rhea's the world champ.
She's the only one in the group that's going to get that world championship.
She's the most dominant. I would love for Finn to exit, to add a member to whatever, but ultimately Rhea is the leader.
Yep.
And like how sick that would be if Rhea's the leader and like bossing around like the men under her, and I just think it'd be sick.
She's the world champ in the group.
Exactly.
So I can see her drop if like that stuff happens and like it gets to a point where there's big cracks and like people are deciding like, oh, like who's in charge. Rhea can just be like, you guys couldn't win. I'm the one with the world championship. Exactly. You guys couldn't win that belt, but I'm the only one that has it. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I wouldn't mind Finn getting kicked out of the group and doing his own thing. But, like, if they're doing the whole JD thing, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if JD kicked out Finn because Finn, like,
the successor
trained him and stuff.
Yeah.
And I can also see them kicking out Damian because Finn's like, oh, I'm bringing in my friend instead, kicking out Damian. They can do either way, but I wouldn't mind if Finn got kicked out. I definitely wouldn't mind him going solo and going back to doing what he was doing.
And fucking, I mean, during the, did we get to when's the promo coming up? Promo's coming up in a little bit, but like there's, Seth was even kind of just like, what happened to the old Finn?
I'm excited to talk about that promo. I thought it was pretty good.
It was good, but I'll tell you, well, I mean, the rest of Imperium attacks Riddle, blah, blah. Bronson Reed defeats Ricochet via DQ of Shinsuke. We kind of already talked about this earlier. They're keeping Bronson Reed really close to this Money in the Bank
he's
stuff.
He's facing Shinsuke on Raw this week. So
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets added in.
He should be in the match.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, big boy? He's having matches with Ricochet and Shin. I don't know. Okay, here we are. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. I thought, for what it's worth, it was fine. My biggest gripe was the crowd was a bunch of dickheads. Yeah, they were. Read the fucking room. Yeah. Maybe they weren't dickheads. That's strong. I apologize. If you were in the crowd, you're not a dickhead. But
it's like it's
here's the thing.
It's a double-edged sword.
I'll preface this by saying I love the Seth Rollins chant. I love the singing. I love like they did when it was Logan Paul and Seth. I feel like that was like almost the birth of it. Yep. But that was a really, really great job, or great example of doing it through a segment and the crowd, quote unquote, taking over. Right.
Yeah. This wasn't the time.
This was not it. You have Finn Balor, who like everyone's behind. You want to see Finn back in that spot. But the whole time you're singing over him and he can't get a word in. And you can tell, again, reading into it, but I think you can tell that Seth is over it. Like during it, it seems like Seth is a little annoyed with the crowd thing, where Seth now, to help Finn, Seth has to say something
exactly
first.
Because when Seth's talking, they quiet
and
down.
then they stop, because like Finn would, I forget what the exact line was, but Finn would say something like, it's been 7 years since, and then he can't get a word in, and then like, you know, Seth looks annoyed, and then he'll be like, 7 years since what, Finn? Kind of like Seth has to talk and basically do Finn's promo for him, for the crowd to shut the fuck up.
And it sucked because it was a great promo.
If you
take out the crowd, like that's like personal, like 7-year like promo there. There's a lot of history between the two.
Read the room, and you have this 7. I mean, like you can. It's technically a rivalry. They've been on and off,
definitely.
but like I'd say it's a rivalry. And you're going back to it, and I really want to hear what Finn has to say. And I really want to hear what Seth has to say.
Yeah, I mean, they both, like, again, like with the crowd, like take out the crowd, even with the crowd, like they both did the best they could. Finn, I mean, that was one of the best promos I heard from him. Like, because you can tell, like, it's emotional. You can tell, like, there's truth. There's definitely truth into that. Like, listen, 7 years ago, he won the first ever Universal Championship. He beat Roman Reigns clean weeks prior, beat Seth Rollins clean. And it's like, you know, he had a rocket strapped to him, and God knows what was, you know, the future held for him. And then he got hurt. You know, obviously it was an accident, but Seth was the one that injured him.
Right.
So, you know, obviously Finn, I'm sure Finn isn't like, you're like, definitely, I don't think there's actual meaning, like, you hurt me, like, you're the reason why.
No,
like,
but there's like,
they understand the business.
There's definitely real life, like, I had
it's
my,
true.
that was Finn's, not one, but that was Finn's at that time opportunity to be the top guy, and it happened, and then just the unfortunate
he came back
happened.
And he never reached,
right?
He never got back to that. So like, definitely meaning behind it. Obviously, like backstage, like it's the business.
It's not.
Like, he doesn't hold it against.
It's
Seth.
Nothing personal. It's all storyline, but also
it is
career.
True. It did happen.
Stuff.
It like legitimately did like alter his career.
I mean, he's been stuck in Judgment Day for years, for a year or two or whatever.
Yeah. So the promo was very like, you can tell, and he said like, I've been wanting to say this for 7 years. You can tell that he, you know, he has been waiting for this for a little bit. It is,
and the crowd ruined it for him.
So I was gonna say earlier, it's a double-edged sword, because one, this shows you how over Seth is, which is great,
for sure,
right?
For sure,
it's too much. Like, and like Seth was annoyed by it, and it's like there's a time and a place for stuff. Like Logan Paul, that's great because people hate Logan Paul, and no one wants to hear what he has to say, so that works. But like this is a lot different, and I don't know. I don't know if like the fans do it because they want to be annoying, or it's because they feel like this is what they're supposed to be doing. But like you said, they don't read the room.
And I get it. I've been in an arena. I went to Raw, and we did the Seth came out, and I was a part of the long-winded but this was different. This was a read the room situation, and I don't know.
They ruined what could have been an all-time promo.
Agreed. I agree.
Genuinely, it really could have been.
But silver lining, we're getting Finn versus Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank, the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. Very, very excited. Almost like it's like a low key, like all of a sudden, oh shit, we're getting this.
I kind of wish they didn't do Seth versus Finn a few weeks ago to see who goes to from Raw to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Nice little teaser,
but
though.
It's fine.
Know?
No, it's fine. It's just like, my one tiny little critique. It's like, I wish they kind of like saved like, oh, this match has been 7 years in the making type of thing. But it's like, we fought 3 weeks ago. You know what? So, but it's fine. I'm still excited for it.
We're gonna skip over Shayna versus Raquel and also Gable versus Eric.
I was looking forward to this.
Neither. Whatever. I mean, this people are like you haven't even talked about the Chad Gable and fucking
Maxine,
Alpha Academy story.
Yeah, they're doing a whole.
Give
thing
me a
there.
reason to talk about that story, and I will.
Yeah.
Speaking of Seth Rollins. A lot of confusing stuff happening with the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know if I love it all. I like it and I don't. Seth Rollins issues an open challenge next week for the World Heavyweight Championship match. Meanwhile, think this happened after the show, or this happened Tuesday on NXT.
Yes.
Where Seth Rollins accepts Braun Breaker's challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, and that's going to happen next week on NXT. So this is Seth's schedule, right? Next week, open challenge, we don't know who, for World Heavyweight Championship. Sorry, already scheduled is the World Heavyweight Championship match at Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So, like, you know, you kind of already get the like, okay, we know Seth's going to Money in the Bank. Unless something crazy happens, I don't see it. But with that already scheduled for whatever it is, 2 or 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away, 2 weeks away, we got Seth in an open challenge next week on Raw next night. Assuming he's going to retain.
Assuming he retains.
He's facing Braun Breaker down in NXT for World Heavyweight Championship.
So I get it. They're trying to build up this belt as like the workhorse belt. Gets defended
it
anywhere.
Almost seems like they're overcompensating for lost time.
Yeah,
we're like, all right, we have this belt. Let's have a bunch of world championship matches.
I saw the statistic where it's Rollins has already. This is including like live events and stuff. He's already defended the belt 5 times. Roman hasn't defended it once since WrestleMania. So you can definitely tell.
You know what though? At a live show though, Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio for the title.
That is happening,
and we are going to have
God knows Rey's winning
Universal Champion
after everything that's been going on the last few months. Where it's a guarantee that Rey is going to win this.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely do feel like they're overcompensating. Because it's like, I like the idea of like the open challenges, like this stuff, but
the fact that we get world championship matches on Raw again, great.
It's great. But I do think if you're going to do this, you shouldn't announce the pay-per-view match, because it's like, okay, Seth Finn at Money in the Bank, you're telling me they're going to tease that match, hype it up, and then like he has the defenses in between. One, you know Seth's going to win. So it kind of takes out the element of surprise. Unless they do a shot, they could. Sure. But it's like, if you didn't announce that Money in the Bank match already, then it could be like, oh, okay, maybe on the road to Money in the Bank, something does happen. Like, they haven't announced a match, so he's not locked in for anything. But since that match is already announced, it's like, well, I already kind of figured he's going to beat Braun Breaker. But, like, the whole Raw Open Challenge, kind of like, I'm sure whoever it is, it'll be a good match and whatever. But
I don't like the open challenge for the World Championship. I love it for an Intercontinental Championship. I love it for a U.S. Championship. I think you need to have a certain level of prestige for the World Championship.
Sure, because you're not building a story around. It's kind of like the International Championship in AEW in a way.
Yeah.
In a way, comparable.
Yeah.
But, like, I agree. I think for the World Heavyweight Championship, like, let's say Seth Rollins comes out and then someone interrupts him, like Bronson Reed or something like that, and he's just like talking whatever. Seth Rollins be like, all right,
you know what? Put it on the line right now.
Yeah,
put it on the line
something
right
like
now.
that.
Sure.
It's like you're talking. Even if it's just a segment, you build it up. This is like, someone come out of the curtain next week and face me, and it's like, okay, like I'm sure the match will be good. And Seth will win.
Love that Seth's defending champion again. Love that we're seeing it on Raw, but like you said, you've been using the term double-edged sword, and I think a lot of this is also a double-edged sword.
I think they have the right thought. Like they have. How can I explain this? They think they're doing.
The thought is there.
The thought is there, and I appreciate that, because we haven't seen many World Championship defenses over the last few years. Like, I get it, but you don't have to do too much. You don't have to do. The belt's brand new. Like, give it some time. Have him have these important matches, and then as time goes on, you can do the open challenge. I'm not. I know you're against the open challenges. I'm not totally against it.
No, I'm not against
it. It's like there needs to be. I have an issue, as I've said before, with like championship matches with no build up, and like AEW, like the TNT championship. Like that's my biggest gripe with those belts, is there's nothing there. It's just matches, and matches can be good, but if there's no storyline, why do you care?
Right.
That's why I think we're kind of falling into that with the World Heavyweight. I think they can recover from it.
At least the Braun thing, there's something there of like Braun's challenge, like at least Braun challenged Seth, and there's like I don't know if I love Seth going down.
I don't love it though.
I would rather
like him
Braun
going
come
down.
to Raw.
No, I do like him going down, because I think if Braun's coming up, keep him up. Like why is Braun going to come up if he's going back down? If I would have liked this more if like Braun got called up and like this happened, but
if Braun got called up, accepts the open challenge,
right? Yeah. I know Baron Corbin is technically the number one contender in fighting Carmelo, but Carmelo and Braun are still like feuding. So like,
it's a weird
Braun's
thing for
got a lot.
It's a weird thing for Braun to lose the NXT Championship and still be on the chase for it, but then be like, because the World Heavyweight
But I'm going
Championship,
for the main roster belt
because that is more prestigious than the NXT Championship,
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
Braun to just be like, I lost that. It almost, I don't say it invalidates Carmelo's championship, but it is just a weird thinking of like, oh, I lost the championship, I want to get it back. In the meantime, you know what? I'll challenge the main roster guy
Baron
for his
Corbin's
title.
first in line. Let me go after this and I'll come back. WWE, like some of these guys, like Braun has a lot going on. Baron Corbin has a lot going on. Mustafa Ali has a lot. They're just like.
I would like this better if Braun had the NXT Championship and then challenge Seth.
I agree with you there, because at least at that point it's like NXT champ versus whatever. He has reason.
I'm the top guy. Exactly.
I do. That's a good point. That's even if like Carmelo was the one to call out Seth.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Recent interviews, Carmelo was calling. He's like, who's one guy you want to face on the main roster? Seth Rollins. Oh, they could have. WWE. Oh, they should have done that.
Listen, tune in.
But yeah, going back to the World Heavyweight Championship, it concerns me because they're doing that whole thing with like AEW TNT Championship, International Championship. But I think the WWE, if they just kick it back a little bit, kick it back a notch, don't have weekly open challenges, it can be presented as a valuable championship. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it being defended every single week. Make it mean something. That's all.
Logan Paul will be at Raw next week. I believe it's in his hometown. Is it? Where is it? Minnesota, Minneapolis,
is he from
something
Minnesota?
like that. I don't know. I could just be. I thought it was in his hometown. Let's see.
I don't know.
Logan Paul.
Haven't seen him since WrestleMania.
Haven't seen him since WrestleMania.
I mean, this is a good time for him to come back.
Oh, is it Ohio? I don't know where Raw is next week. I thought they said hometown.
I think he's from Cleveland or something. Or
yeah, you're right. Oh, maybe they are in Cleveland next week. I don't know. Raw, Raw tickets. What's the next show? June 8th. What the fuck?
That would be June 19th.
Whatever. It's taking too long.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Logan
Either
Paul
way,
will be
Logan
on
Paul. If he is in his hometown, might be cheered a little bit more. Can't confirm if he is in his hometown or not. I thought this was a little bit my first inclination, because these got announced back to back. The Open Challenge for World Heavyweight Championship and Logan Paul. I don't think Logan Paul is going to be the one to accept it. I don't think he's going to wrestle.
I don't think they would have announced him if he was.
No, I don't think so. But that was my first inclination of like Open Challenge, and they announced.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Curious what he's gonna do.
So, what are you
thinking?
What I would.
I have no like
my preference. This is what I would like to happen.
Talk to me.
I would love it if Logan Paul shows up, and people can complain about, like, why would he get this opportunity? Well, I think you can pull some, like, I talked to some people backstage. The boss says, throw me in the Money in the Bank match. Doesn't have to win a qualifying match.
He should have 1,000% be in the Money in the Bank match. That'd be sick, dude.
I'm not saying he should win it, but I'm saying that if he was in the match,
that'd be sick.
I'm not trying to take anything away from the other wrestlers, but I do think Logan Paul being in the match adds more credibility. That adds another.
I would say credibility, maybe star power.
Star power.
Yeah.
I think that's the better word. Because even if, like, obviously these other guys more talented, like, are actual like full-time wrestlers, I get that. But Logan Paul being in the match, people are gonna care about it.
It's a curveball.
Love him or hate him, you're gonna watch that and you're gonna love what he does, because I think he could pull off some shit.
He'd go crazy.
Him and Ricochet, I think you recreate.
We already saw the Royal Rumble.
So
spot.
They can do some shit. I would love for him to just come out and be like, I'm entering the Money in the Bank match, and then obviously as a heel, people be like, they all had a fight in qualifying matches, and you're just entering himself, and he goes.
It adds to his.
That's in my contract. Just some shit like that or whatever.
So
I know it's like cheeky. I know it's just kind of
I'm with it.
Easy way to get him into the match, but like
it adds a
he's
lot
an asshole.
of heat.
He's a shithead. So it's like that's kind of how you get more heat on him.
So what would that be? 8 for the Met? 1, 2,
that
3,
would be 7,
4, 5. They can easily do that.
I think they easily could do it. And if like you want to do the last chance thing, so it's 8 in total, even it out maybe. But
because what else could he be? Like, what are they gonna throw him in for?
You're 2 weeks away from Money in the Bank.
I can't imagine.
You have to put something. I don't think they're bringing him back now and not having him on the Money in the Bank card. You know what I mean? I feel like they would have waited until after Money in the Bank if he's going to be at because he's definitely going to have a match at SummerSlam. That's for sure. Why wouldn't he come back after Money in the Bank, building up to SummerSlam? Now he's back 2-3 weeks before Money in the Bank. He's got to be in
and I'm hoping
match.
Whatever they do at Money in the Bank, or even looking forward to SummerSlam, I hope it's not another like Logan Paul, where it's like thrown together. Like I hope it's just not like a, he faced Roman in Saudi, and that was pretty much just like a Roman versus someone, lottery pick Logan. Like I hope there's like a story, or like you said, there's some sort of heat in Money in the Bank. Maybe in Money in the Bank, you start to build a feud with them against someone. Maybe you run Logan Paul versus Shinsuke Nakamura at SummerSlam. Sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
They can do some stuff here.
I honestly don't. I don't have any other thing of like, what could he be for? Because what else?
It could be the open challenge, I guess. But Logan's gonna lose. I feel like you're at a point now where Logan Paul has been wrestling for over a year in the company, only a handful.
He needs a win.
He needs a win.
He needs a win.
Like
he does have
the Money
wins,
in the Bank match is one thing because he
should not win.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about showing up and getting pinned. You go up, you challenge Seth, you're gonna get pinned. I know he doesn't have a momentum because he hasn't been around, but if he loses again, you're kind of killing the momentum.
I would say whoever he faces at SummerSlam, he should win.
No, I agree. Sure. I think at this point, you signed to a multi-year deal.
I don't know who I want to lose.
I know, but you signed to a multi-year deal, you got to have some big plans for him. You know what I mean? So I think you got to start soon.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I really hope he's in the Money in the Bank match. I really do.
Sami and Kevin Owens defend their tag team titles against Imperium. A little bit of tomfoolery here. Riddle comes in, tries to interfere, but Gunther boots him out. Bada bing, bada boom. Nothing really crazy. It's just a really solid. These four fucking men. Sami and Kevin, and even Kaiser is the one that kind of gets overshadowed here. But he still shows his own, and just seeing Gunther in tag team matches too is just fun.
Yeah,
it's not to say that's not his element, but it's just not what we're used to him seeing him.
Yeah,
definitely. It's just a different environment. This was solid. Not much else there to say other than just I don't know if this is the end of this feud. I don't know if we're gonna keep going. Maybe we'll do Sami and Gunther for the IC title. I don't know.
I've said this before. I still think they're going to do Riddle versus Gunther for the IC title at Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, you're right. They'll probably end up doing that.
Just because they're doing the whole Imperium. Sami. I know. Matt Riddle just fought. Who'd he lose to? Damien.
Priest.
Damien.
Yeah.
So it's like this week he wasn't involved. I don't think he was involved. Oh no, he did. He did interfere.
He interfered in Gunther. You're right.
I think they're. Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. I think that'll be a good match. Two wrestlers. I think they'll have a good match.
This is what we got. As of now, again, I think there's still someone missing from the women's, but the men's Money in the Bank will be, unless something else changes, as of now, Ricochet, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Damian Priest, Butch, Shinsuke. My picks out of this is we've been saying it for a week or two now. Shinsuke and LA Knight are my two.
All right, so Ricochet, I don't see him winning. No. Santos Escobar, I like him. I don't think he's there yet.
I could see Damian winning.
I could see that happening. Butch/Pete Dunne, I like the idea of it. Not yet. Shinsuke, absolutely. LA Knight. I know it's the obvious choice. So is Seth Rollins winning the World Heavyweight Championship. But what have we said? Just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's bad.
Having the shit talker on the mic with the briefcase, hanging it over everyone's head.
And this is what I want. I want LA Knight to win it, but I don't want him to have a cash in at the next pay per view. I want usually with Money in the Bank, especially recently, you rarely have a situation where the person holds the briefcase for a long time. Usually it's
they haven't done that
within
in
a month or two. Theory held on to it for 6-7 months, but obviously he cashed in. Also,
Brock had it for a while when he was Boombox Brock.
That was only a month or two. It really wasn't that
damn
long.
Boombox Brock feels like it was
really
longer.
Wasn't that. I might have only been a month, honestly.
Damn.
But I don't know if you also heard this, but when they were talking about the Money in the Bank match and stuff, and like oh, you can cash in anytime, anywhere. This is the first time they've done it. They emphasized you can also cash in on the Intercontinental or United States.
I was gonna say they really
after last year they have to hammer that home.
They really seem like they're really pushing the cash in on not the world. I don't think it's gonna cash on either world title. They're
really,
to me it really seems like they're like this is gonna be cash in on a mid card.
Which I think
really seem.
I
respect
why they're saying it and doing it, but it's stupid.
No,
it's
agreed. It should.
If LA Knight cashed in on Austin Theory, I would go ballistic. That would be so stupid.
It'd be better. It'd be better for the IC title. It should be. I don't know.
IC title. Right now, I think I wouldn't be upset by it because like Gunther is making it, presenting it as like one of the most prestigious belts in the company,
and it would get the title off of Gunther in a cheeky way.
But what I would like to happen is LA Knight wins the briefcase, hold on to it for like 9 months, 10 months, like maybe night after WrestleMania. Like I want him to hold on to it past the point of Roman losing. So like I want Roman to not be involved at all because whoever has the Money in the Bank, I think as long as Roman's the champ, it's like, okay, it's either going to be Seth or one of the mid-carders. If Roman loses, let's say Cody, then it's like, okay, now someone could cash in on the Universal Champion, WWE Universal Championship.
Yeah, because they're not going to end this Roman run with a cash
LA Knight isn't pinning. That's not happening. So I would like LA Knight to have the briefcase, talk his shit for like 9, 10. I think it would be money. It would be money.
In the bank.
Yeah, it would be Money in the Bank. So that's why I would like to happen. I'd be fine with Shinsuke winning because I think he's more than deserving. But I think LA Knight, bro.
LA Knight, if
everyone's behind him.
If I had to choose one, it would be LA Knight for sure. I'm just a Shinsuke fan, but if I had to choose one, it'd be LA Knight.
I wouldn't be upset if LA Knight lost, but I really want him to win.
And the women's shape up is looking like Zelina, Becky, Bayley, Iyo Sky, Zoe Stark, and maybe a TBD.
Who do we want to give a prediction of who do we think the TBD is going to be?
I think I think brushed
Raquel
over.
Gonzalez
Oh, that makes sense.
Good one.
Brushed. I mean, we talked about it a lot. Io's the one. Iyo. Yeah, I want Iyo to win this.
No matter who the
TBD
is, I think Io's my pick.
But TBD. Yeah, Raquel. Is Liv still like injured?
No, she's out for a while.
She's out for a while. Yeah, Dakota's out. There's no one else.
Bianca? No, she's not going to be in the match. No. Yeah, I mean, there's not.
I mean, they. I'm trying to. The other people I had in mind already lost their qualifiers. Like they could throw a Natty in there.
Yeah, maybe they could do a last chance thing. I don't know.
There's definitely someone I'm missing.
Natalia.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte. Who's the fourth horsewoman I'm missing?
Sasha.
Oh, fucking
surprise! She's back for one night only.
That's what it is. The TBD is Sasha. But that's that. That's WWE. That's Raw and SmackDown. Money in the Bank is. So we have, what is it? Do we have one or two? How many more shows?
2 weeks from Saturday is Money in the Bank. So we
got this SmackDown. Then we got a Raw.
2 Raws and 3 SmackDowns.
2 Raws. 3. What day? Oh, is it the 1st? July 1st?
I believe
so. Okay. They have 3 SmackDowns.
They have a while. Yeah.
It feels like it's like next week.
It does.
That's crazy.
I'm excited. I can't wait for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the next couple of podcast episodes are going to be talk about shape up. But what's nice now is at least we have like the field set. So now it's going to be we can build these matches.
Yeah.
Remember, I forget what. I mean, you might know what you will know what year it was, but when they opened up Raw, where all the competitors were sitting on top of the ladders,
like Jericho, Cesaro,
Kevin, I think,
Dean
right?
Ambrose, Kevin. Yeah, I do.
So I'm gonna look up. What year was that?
I think that was like 2016, 2017, maybe.
2016
I think it was 20. That may have been 2016.
In the Bank Raw.
Alberto Del Rio, I think, was there,
sitting on ladders.
2018.
Wow.
Was it 2018?
That might just be when it was uploaded. Oh, the woman also did it? Wait. Oh, it was the men and women?
No, I think...
Was that that Photoshop? Let me Photoshop.
There was definitely one where Chris Jericho
this is definitely Photoshop. Yeah, Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho. That one right
Sami, Kevin, Jericho has his legs crossed.
Yeah, and that's got to be a 2015, 2016.
Okay. Yeah. Dean, Alberto. Who the fuck is that? Is that Cesaro?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think that is 2016 because I think Dean Ambrose won that one.
Crazy.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose definitely won
So
that.
sick. Not that I want them to like copy it, but like I love the presentation.
Makes you feel important.
Let me see. What does this say? Now I'm just curious for the year. We got Dynamite to cover, but this website's gonna give me
just
a
like
virus.
a 2016 getting a virus.
2016 Money in the Bank. Sounds right to me. Yep. 2016.
Stacked.
Yeah.
That was a stacked group.
Yeah, I think they could, especially if they have time, I think they could present both these matches and as huge, they are big deals, but I think they have the opportunity.
So before we get into AEW, I do want to ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
Usually you're the one asking the questions. I'm going to ask the question.
right.
Because I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet. People are kind of a little upset that there isn't much star power in the men's match. Do you think that it's better that there's all these contestants, all these contenders are never won a world championship before, or do you wish there was someone in there that kind of added a little bit more legitimacy to the match?
Two things. First of all, the match has star power. You have Shinsuke Nakamura in there. You have LA Knight, and then even Damian Priest has been on TV. I'm not saying that. I mean, Damian's not the biggest star. LA Knight's not even the biggest star. But you have Shinsuke in there. You have stars. You don't have world champions, but you have stars. So you have stars enough. But also, and I think I might have seen, because you did write an article on ClutchPoints.com.
I did write an article on ClutchPoints.com.
So I feel like we might share the sentiment where the Money in the Bank match has always been the lower card guys getting the opportunity and getting the cash in, right?
Elevating those
exactly.
guys.
So especially if you look at when it started at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And like, yes, granted, guys like Edge did win it and whatever.
But when Edge won it, he never won a world championship before up to that point.
Exactly.
Too.
So no, I don't know. I mean, what do you want from this match? Do you want like, I don't know. What do people want?
Because it's how I look at it is you could have, like, this match is meant to elevate superstars. Like, this is supposed to be like, you win the Money in the Bank match, like, your career trajectory changes.
And it adds a curveball, and now someone like unexpected always has
so it's
the
like,
thing.
Now, I love Drew McIntyre, and I wish he was back. I would love to see him competing and stuff like this, but I would much rather see an LA Knight win this match.
Yeah.
Because Drew McIntyre can come back and challenge for a world championship whenever he wants. He doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase to elevate him. He's already a major star. The briefcase is meant to turn a mid-carder, lower-tier guy into a main eventer. You've seen that when Edge won it. He never won the World Heavyweight the championship before. He became a main event guy. CM Punk, he won it twice, and that elevated him.
Right.
You had Jack Swagger. I know, like,
Look at this. All right, we'll run down the
let's
list.
do it.
Edge in 2005. Like that led him to beating John Cena and to being a top
turned
guy.
Edge into Edge.
RVD, that led into that crazy ECW one night stand match, elevating. I mean, like, RVD was already a legend at that point, but we thought we would never see him again with I think you could even say it's like, I don't think age has anything to do with it. We've talked about this before, but it's like you said, it's mid-tier guys, and even like an RVD who at the time was kind of like that, like, mid-tier guy going after like, you know, either tag belts or like mid-card titles, whatever, and that elevated him to the championship match with Cena.
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy, Edge,
If he
CM
never
Punk,
got hurt, Mr. Kennedy would have become a world champion, would have changed his career.
Jack Swagger, Kane, which, like,
Whatever.
you know, Kane's outlier.
That was more of a storyline thing.
Sure.
The Miz, that's a big
Daniel
one.
Bryan,
Another big one.
Alberto Del Rio,
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler.
Cena, no.
John Cena.
Sandow could have been. Randy Orton, whatever. Seth. Sheamus, whatever. Dean, that's a big one. Corbin failed. Strowman, whatever. Brock definitely didn't need to win it. Otis and The Miz, again. Big E, that's another big one.
Huge
So,
one.
not every person that wins this is guaranteed to be, you know, elevated. You know, obviously.
I think if there's a story, because, like, if there's a story for a Randy Orton or a John Cena to win it, or a Brock to win it, fun, it adds an element to whatever that story is going on. But when you're in a position like you are now with Roman as the champion and Seth's an established new champion, there's no real, like, Seth doesn't really have he has Finn, but, like, other than that, Nah, he has a story. I don't even want to say that. That's a 7-year story. But yeah, no, they're in a year and they're in an opportunity where it's going to be a mid-card guy to be elevated, and that's the majority for sure is what it's always been.
Look at the last since Dean Ambrose. You held it 57 minutes, 58 days, 70 days, 58 days, 193 days, which is, okay. So when you had Otis and The Miz, that was a little longer. Big E, 57. Theory held it for a long time but failed cash in on the United States Championship. It's been a while since you've had like that really long, like,
I mean, Seth had it for 273 with his cash.
I want Dolph, and I want a Dolph or Seth type of reign. Hold it for 200 something days, like carried over into the next year after Mania.
Edge, when he first time held it for 280.
Edge almost held it for 2 years.
2 years.
Excuse me.
I agree, but my thing is like it can get stale quick, because I remember with a lot of these people holding it, I have memories of like, so and so still has the money in the bank, and it becomes like an accessory almost. Where if they do it the right way, I think it's great, and they're always teasing
anticipating a cash and stuff.
I don't think I'm as optimistic as like a 9 to 12 months, but I definitely it either has to be a shocking night of turnaround or like months long, and that builds up to something. I will be curious, especially now that they have like the two. Sometimes they do like the men will cash in same night, women will hold it or whatever.
Now I'm
curious what they're gonna.
You want to hear? Look up the women's Money in the Bank because there's a little. I want you to see what they've done the last few years. I didn't notice this until I saw a tweet about it.
Women's really pixelated image. Okay. All right, Carmella 2017.
Look how long since Alexa, how long they've held it. 2 hours, 1 hour.
Oh, geez.
Oh, that's up until 2020. The last few years. Well, actually,
Asuka had it for 50 plus.
No, she won.
Wait, what?
She no, that's not right. She got the belt the next night.
And Faux Star.
Yeah, that's not correct. Yeah, go on Wikipedia if they just have that same thing for women.
Win the bank ladder match, history matches. Let's see what we got. I don't remember who did Asuka cash in on?
She didn't, because Becky was pregnant, so she was like, "Oh, here's the champ." That was the next night, so that I know that's incorrect. Okay, so they kind of have them bunched together.
Okay.
So we saw Alexa same night, Bayley same night, Asuka next night. That was 2020, and then
where's the Asuka one? It doesn't even have it.
2021, Nikki ASH the next night, I think.
She said held the contract for 25 days. 1 day is recognized due to.
Oh, maybe it was.
Delay.
Okay, maybe it was a few days.
It says,
maybe it was.
On the May 11th, 2020 episode of Raw, Rollins champion Becky Lynch announced she was going on hiatus with pregnancy, and that the women's Money in the Bank ladder match had been for the championship, revealing to.
Why do I feel like that was the next night that they did that? I don't know why they would.
You're right. It definitely reads like it. It sounds like it. Like you would think like. Yeah, you would. I guess. I mean, It was
20.
That was a Thunderdome.
Yeah, that was a dark.
You would
time.
think that like the next night it'd be like that was actually for the world title. I guess it happened almost a month later. I don't know. Whatever. That's crazy.
So then 2021, you get to Nikki ASH cashes in like the next day or 2 days later.
Yeah.
And then 2020.
I'll go back to that. Sykes has the times.
I don't think it stopped at 2020.
Oh, what the fuck?
that one's fucked. Go back.
Yeah, so you're at Nikki ASH.
And then 2022, Liv Morgan, same night. So for the last 5 years, except for Asuka,
held the contract for 2 hours. Yeah,
the longest they've held is for 1 day. So I would like to see whoever wins the women's Money in the Bank to hold on to it for more than 1 day. I don't know, just a concept.
Yeah,
make it mean something. It doesn't always have to be a quick turnaround. Like, if it's a shocking moment, sure, but we've had those moments for the last 5 years. So I think they could change it up this year a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think... Because at least, like, when, like, Dean won it, there were, like, reasons for the shocking moment.
That made sense, though.
But, like, LA Knight, let's just say LA Knight wins it. There's no real... It would be a shocking moment, but there's no real payoff for the shocking moment.
There's
if he
no
just
build
cashed
up
in
to
that same... And same thing with the... Yeah, same thing with the... Unless, like... The only thing I could see with... And obviously, well...
Maybe Iyo Sky cashed it on Asuka, something like that, or Charlotte.
Unless Bianca is the TBD in the match.
Maybe, yeah.
I could see if Bianca wins it. Not that they're going to do this, and not that I necessarily want this, but the only thing that would make sense for a cash-in is what I'm saying is Bianca wins it same night, and because she's pissed at Charlotte and Asuka, and then cashes it in the same night.
Yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't prefer that.
No, absolutely not.
I guess. But yeah, very interesting. All right, now let's get to AEW.
Dynamite. Actually, one more thing I want to say. Just a quick thing. Love Money in the Bank season because especially, I mean, like we've seen how good Raw's been for the past 2, 3, 4 weeks. Just having stakes in matches, just like it's a qualifying match, whatever. Just makes everything so much better and more interesting. Of like, just adding reasons and stakes to things. It's always just great. Okay, all-timer episode of Dynamite. I'll say it. One of the best episodes of Dynamite. Incredible. We had the AEW World Championship Eliminator match. MJF versus Adam Cole, and it ends in a draw. Holy shit.
The ending was fucking crazy.
Went.
Yeah, they did.
They go to it's a unique thing that AEW does. I mean, I think New Japan also does it, but just compared to WWE, they really, the time limit means, they always have the time limit in place, so it's always a thing. But then every so often it comes in, and they went to the time limit. And I don't know if I'm sure someone timed it. I don't know how in the world they would time it so well. Timed. No shot that was 30 minutes.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know that. I was like, I wonder if like they really.
I'm sure it was close.
I feel like there's gonna be someone on the internet like.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't actually. It was actually 29 minutes and 57 seconds.
I don't know. I don't know either for a fact, but either way,
fuck it. I'm not looking it up.
No, I'm
sticking with what happened.
This is a wrestling podcast. We suspend our disbelief for an hour and a half. I think we're gonna stop now. The whole match was crazy. MJF hits this crazy elbow off the top rope through a table onto the floor. A lot of hardest part of the ring uses. MJF again. It's funny how he'll talk like, I play, which I get it's to his character. Like I play it safe, and I only like half-ass when I wrestle. But like obviously, and then when he actually wrestles, he puts on bangers, and it's like shit.
One of my favorite things of MJF is when like someone's outside and it looks like he's about to like do a dive, but he starts running, like gain momentum. And just keeps going back and forth on the ropes.
Anyway, match ends by Adam Cole is about to get the victory. Ref counts 1, 2. The bell rings. The 30-minute timer is up before the ref can count to 3.
Crazy.
Holy shit.
That's a good way to end the match.
It's on a draw. Cole challenges MJF for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. MJF says no. That was the match, and that's the outcome.
All right.
No.
I like it. I really like it. This continues the story. Yeah, obviously, we'll talk about it in a little bit. MJF's going to have his hands full for a little bit, so kind of gives you some time before All In, which it seems like they might revisit that match.
Also, during the match, it seemed like Cole might have injured his arm.
Oh,
it looks rough. We don't know the extent of it. Don't know if he's actually injured. I don't know. Sammy Guevara promo. Definitely feels like they are leaning, especially with the baby announcement, and he reiterated the fact of, we're having a girl, and he is just the ultimate baby face. You're having a baby girl, ultimate
really
baby face
hammering
move.
Home the fact that he's having a baby.
I was gonna say hammering home the baby face move, but also the baby.
Yeah,
thing.
he just can't help but mention it.
Darby and Jericho come out. They, Darby. They all have their. This was fine. They all have their thing, and Sammy stands up for himself and kind of like Jericho wanted him to apologize to him, or just Jericho appreciation society stuff.
Sammy's in the
right, yeah,
society.
So this was fine. Ultimately, it seemed like it's going to link to Sting Darby versus Jericho Sammy. This riffs with Sammy Jericho. So is going to kind
They'll turn on each other at some point.
Yeah. Cool thing. Jericho and Sting both had their bats, and they were like almost, they were getting pretty damn close to a little bat lightsaber battle.
I love that.
But that's what that was. Nothing crazy. And then that led into Darby, Sting, Orange Cassidy, Keith Lee defeating the Mogul Embassy. This was just a solid match. it comes off of the Orange Cassidy and Swerve feud. You have Swerve and Keith Lee still with their thing, and it gets everyone on TV. Nothing crazy, just a solid 8-person TV match. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Wardlow defeats Jake Hager to retain your favorite title, the TNT Championship. My
favorite.
Hey, he retained.
He did.
He retained.
At least he's having a good reign, so he's held on to the title for a little bit.
This leads to more important. The match was whatever. This kind of leads to Christian and Luchasaurus backstage, and they reveal a bloodied Arn Anderson. This looks like it's going to lead to Wardlow and Luchasaurus, but they're listening to you. We're getting some story with the TNT Championship. It's not a.
Hey, listen to the pod.
It's not a good feud by any means.
It's a feud.
I'm not
but it's a feud.
It's gonna be Luchasaurus and Wardlow, two big boys.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a fun match.
Yeah.
Wardlow's on a good run. The fans are behind him.
Yep.
Luchasaurus is always fun. Heel Christian,
great
in the corner is always great.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
something. It's
something.
progress. So
MJF later in the night declines the announced match of Hiroshi Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. A lot of Forbidden Door stuff happening. Now, I'll be honest, because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and lie to anyone, lie to the people. A lot of this Forbidden Door stuff, which is why I like it, is we're getting introduced. We talked about this before. We talked about this a lot. Of getting introduced to these people we are not necessarily exposed to.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Tanahashi match. I don't know anything about him, but he's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I can't sit here and admit to that. I've seen a match either, but
and I don't think it's not through any sort of ignorance. It's just we just don't watch that TV show. And this is what I loved about Forbidden Door last year. It's what I'm looking forward to Forbidden Door this year, and we'll get into a lot more of the stuff later on. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna have something. MJF is just being a dick and declining it. I'm sure something will happen. He'll have his match.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. Someone else in the same sentiment as this, Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes, sir.
Confronts Orange Cassidy, a challenge for the international championship at Forbidden Door. Also, I guess Zack Sabre Jr. is the first ever New Japan. What is it? He's a TV champion. He's the first ever something.
He's
Sabre.
a great wrestler too. I think him and Danielson fought last year at Forbidden Door.
Really?
I think.
I don't remember. Blah blah blah. He's something. What is? Oh, he's the first ever New Japan World Television Champion.
Oh, gotcha.
That's what it is. Another champion versus championship match. Again, someone I'm not too exposed to. Excited to see what they do. Daniel Garcia also came in and had a little like, oh, you don't deserve it. Blah blah blah. But I'm loving as much as I don't know these people, I understand the hype of a Zack Sabre Jr. and a Tanahashi. I watch AEW and I see clips online, so I understand the hype of it.
Yeah,
it
we're not like, I don't care because I've never heard of it.
Right. No, I'm more excited, and I'm skipping very ahead, but I'm very excited to see Will Ospreay again.
Oh yeah,
I
he was fucking awesome.
Loved seeing him last year at Forbidden Door and at the following like AEW events that he stuck around for.
Yeah,
I'm very excited. Where are we already? Toni Storm defeats Skye Blue to retain the AEW World's Women's Championship. Biggest standout of this, Skye Blue is the fucking future.
Yeah.
Of AEW, WWE, wrestling. She is so good. She's 23.
Yeah, very young.
Fresh on the scene. And Toni Storm's great too. So when you got two women who can fucking go, that can bring out the best in each other. This was a good match. The shenanigans were what they were, but the match itself I thought was really, really good. It painted, no pun intended with the spray paint, but put Skye Blue in a really good light. Outcast used like their spray paint. Skye Blue had her own spray paint and she used it and it was blue. Mm-hmm. And then Willow Nightingale saves Skye Blue post-match. The post-match stuff was whatever, but again, I think this... we got Toni Storm's your new champ. We got a really solid match with her and kind of just like solidifying this run. I know a lot of people were maybe not as enthusiastic as I was with her winning, but I'm for it and I think she's proven it. And then you got Skye Blue on the scene. Great. Looking forward to more. Looking forward to more of all of this.
Yep.
Main event. Here we fucking go. The HungBucks, consisting of Hangman Adam Page and the Young Bucks, defeated Blackpool Combat Club. There's a lot to say about this. Before we get into the post-match, first of all, it was crazy. It's too much to cover all the beats. It was just fucking crazy. Bryan Danielson was on commentary the whole time. I mean, I just love how good Yuta looks in all this too. But this was crazy. People are saying, which I guess I don't know. Is this the end of Is this the end of the Elite and Blackpool Combat Club feud? Because it looks like they have a lot of stuff coming in. I hope it's not the end.
No, I think you have a lot of moving pieces.
I think so too. I saw some people saying it was the end.
I think they're going to stretch this out until All In, honestly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, people have to understand how big of an event All In is going to be for AEW. Like, they're hyping it up like it's going to be the biggest pay-per-view ever.
And this is their biggest feud,
they
so
have
to keep
yeah,
this going.
I agree. They have to save these matches and have these matches on the show.
Plus, this is like the first win the Elite has gotten over Blackpool. So it's like, this didn't feel like, and maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but this didn't feel like the end of the feud. And I just saw like a tweet or two about like, oh, that was the end of it, blah blah. I hope not.
No, it shouldn't be.
There's still a lot they can do that they just haven't done yet. But anyway, post match, Eddie Kingston comes into Clear House. It's just a surprise return, Eddie Kingston. Didn't think we'd see him. I fucking love Eddie Kingston. He's wearing the jorts down to his fucking ankles. Gets into face-to-face with Mox. Nice storytelling there with him and Mox having this history. Takeshita runs in, takes out Eddie Kingston. Kenny Omega runs in, takes out Takeshita.
And then
the Elite thought they were standing tall, and then out of nowhere, Will Ospreay slides in, takes out Kenny Omega ahead of their IWGP US Championship match at Forbidden Door. Wow.
Yeah.
People are calling this, and I'm not disagreeing, people are calling this one of, if not the best conclusions to Dynamite. This was fucking nuts.
Could have been, yeah.
The people that are saying, like, it was too much chaos, it was hard to follow. Fuck off. This was so reminiscent of, like, you see clips online all the time of, like, old WWF clips where like The Rock will slide in, hit his rock bottom. Holy shit, Stone Cold will run in. Undertaker will run in. You know what I mean?
Same energy
this is
here.
It's fun. It's chaotic. It's what I signed up for. And then, like I said, seeing Will Ospreay come back and dominate over Kenny, I think he'd be my pick to win it. Especially Kenny's so preoccupied with all this stuff going on with Dynamite. I would imagine Will Ospreay takes the title off him. But this was sick. I'm so ready for Forbidden Door. And again, it's the same thing with Money in the Bank. It feels like it's closer than it is.
Forbidden Door? It's after. Is it after?
It's the
Money
weekend,
in the Bank?
It's the weekend before, I think.
Is it really?
It could be wrong.
Oh wow, it's closer than Money in the Bank.
Forward.
No, you're probably right.
I just want to get the exact time. June 25th. So yeah, the weekend before.
Wow.
It's coming up.
That is coming up.
I wonder if there's if we can look at the what the current match card is. 2013. All right, this is what's been announced. Oh yeah, and then also I kind of forgot to mention this, but we got Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. You got Bryan Danielson versus Okada.
That's gonna be crazy.
This is a backstage segment. I think I forgot to put it down, but we got Sonata. So I think that's how you pronounce it. Who I'm very unfamiliar with.
Yeah, me too.
They are the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and they issued an open challenge saying at Forbidden Door, anyone from AEW, like, come and take it, whatever. I thought it was going to be like a surprise open challenge. They'd either do it Forbidden Door or whatever. Halfway through a show, Jungle Boy pops up and he goes, "I accept." Huh? Okay. Which is like, cool. I love Jack. Just seemed unexpected.
Yeah.
But
they're just trying to keep him in like the bigger picture, I guess.
Yeah, and I think I'm predicting a heel turn with Jack because like him and Hook are still together, and I'm predicting a heel turn. I don't know, but this was unexpected. I'm curious what people think about this, and they have it listed here.
It's gonna happen.
MJF and Tanahashi. A lot of matches I'd imagine still to be announced. Also, they announced a bunch for Collision, which I will record and watch Sunday morning. Actually, Sunday's Father's Day. I'll probably get to it.
Oh, is that this Sunday?
I'll get to it this Saturday, yeah.
It's Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. Collision. Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about Father's Day.
Sorry. Yeah, Father's Day Sunday.
Okay.
But I bought my dad a sick Father's Day.
I
saw a pair of New Balance 2002 R's.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
I want to get myself a pair. I got him and I was like, I want to get matching pair. But anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Forbidden Door is gonna be sick. Collision. So they're doing they added a little bit more story, which CM Punk and Sammy Joe, Samoa Joe have their kind of ROH history. Yep. FTR and holy shit, they're drawing a blank. Jay White, Jesus, yeah, Bullet Club Gold. It's gonna be a match. There was something else. There was a couple other things announced. We'll run through that and then we'll get out of here. But that's AEW. I think there was a Tony Storm match announced. Oh, here we go. They're doing. Oh, okay. At Collision, they're doing Wardlow versus Luchasaurus for the TNT Championship. They're doing Skye Blue and Willow Nightingale versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. Miro will be in action. Sleeper match that I think you'll be a big fan of. Buddy Matthews versus Andrade El Idolo.
That'll be a sick match.
And then obviously the trios match. So, I mean, it is what it is. If it's going to end up being a brand split, I guess you can't really do a whole lot on your introduction show in terms of like new titles and new feuds. So it makes sense of bringing around like the TNT Championship feud or the Skye Blue and Tony Storm thing. It makes sense. I'm hoping a lot will be built. You know what they also teased?
What's that?
CM Punk had a little like
I didn't watch it, but I saw they put one out.
Which it was a little heavy-handed for my taste, but CM Punk was basically like, you never know what I'm gonna say when they put a microphone in my hand. Like really, so he's gonna talk.
Yeah.
It was a little too heavy-handed for my taste. Of like, we get it. Like CM Punk's gonna say something controversial, probably. Just do it. I get they have to hype it up. I'd imagine. I'm not seeing a crazy hype train. Around it, but
all right, we'll see what happens.
But other than that just about wraps up our show. Unless you have anything else that we didn't touch upon.
I got nothing, honestly. I think we touched on everything.
I feel like we this is a pretty encompassing pod. It's Bailey's birthday today.
Happy birthday,
34th
Bailey.
Birthday. I'm stealing this from Wrestle Ops. One-time NXT Women's Champion, one-time Raw Women's Champion, two-time Women's Tag Team Champion, two-time SmackDown Women's Champion, one-time Money in the Bank winner, first Women's Grand Slam Champion, a future. I just put this as a future Hall of Famer, which is technically true.
That is very true.
All right. Well, that is about that. We didn't think of it at all. What do we think for a
something with 2 coffees, maybe?
Yeah, 2
double fists and coffees.
2 coffee.
2 coffee, 1 podcast.
Okay. All right. 2. I hate that, but that's okay.
You got something else?
I don't. I wish I did. 2 coffees, 1 pod.
There you go.
Tough. Hate that.
Put it in there. Put it in the comments.
Hate that.
Put it in the comments.
That's our worst one. That's our worst one by far.
It's one.
Thank you everyone for watching. Again, please leave a rating, leave a review, subscribe, all of that stuff. You can follow me at Raspy Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. I'm making it shorter now. I'm plugging too much stuff. Twitter and Instagram. And then you can figure out the rest of the stuff. At Raspy Taylor, Twitter and Instagram.
You're a better man than me. You can follow me on Twitter at Dante on Deck, and then Dante11, Dante11 everywhere else.
And my TikTok, because I'm trying to get my TikTok's looking
just
rough.
Include everything.
Come on.
Just include everything in there. Follow him on TikTok. Follow Stache Club Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram, Stache Club W, and Stache Club Wrestling on TikTok.
We will see you in the next one. We will see it throughout the week.
Yes, we will.
Catch you in the next one.
Until then, peace.